Hi guys, welcome back to CJ's Keto Kitchen. Welcome to our 4-week summer salad series. And to kick off our summer salad series, I am going to be making a Brussels sprout Caesar salad. So come along with me and let's get started. Origins of the Caesar salad go all the way back to 1924. And it was attributed to Caesar Cardini, and he owned a restaurant called Caesar's. And it was the 4th of July, and they had a mad rush in the kitchen and ran out of ingredients. I thought it was very appropriate that I be making this on 4th of July week. And so he scraped together what was left of the salad ingredients, and it happened to be romaine lettuce and Parmesan cheese and other things to make the original Caesar salad. Now, the great thing about this was the flair of it being prepared at tableside. And still in a lot of your fancy restaurants, that is what will occur if you order a Caesar salad. Now, his daughter Rosa said that the original recipe did not include anchovies, and that was later added by his son Alex. So according to her, the original Caesar salad did not have anchovies. Mine will also not have anchovies, but you're welcome to add those. So a Caesar salad is basically an emulsion of olive oil and lemon juice, Parmesan cheese, some herbs and spices, and it is generally put over traditionally romaine lettuce. But I decided to use Brussels sprouts in this step instead, and that is for a couple of reasons. Number one, because I wanted something different for this, and romaine is traditional, but you can get that anytime, so I wanted to do something different for our salad series. And another reason is because Brussels sprouts are a lot hardier than romaine. So if you were going to take this to a summer gathering or have it, outdoors for a barbecue, it's going to hold up a lot better than romaine. Even though romaine has a very firm stalk running down it, it is still a lettuce and it is going to break down. So the Brussels sprouts do tend to be a little bit hardier and hold on to the marinade a little better. Another reason is because Brussels sprouts have a lot more vitamin C in them and also a lot more vitamin K. So they are more nutrient dense just by nature than, say, a lettuce product. So that is why I'm using Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts have been around for a really long time. They actually originated in the Mediterranean area, but came to Belgium in the 13th century, and that is why they are called Brussels sprouts. And they are, of course, part of the cabbage family. So let's go ahead and start making this salad. It's very easy, and you're going to love it. So I have already partially chopped the pound of Brussels sprouts in my bowl here. This is almost a pound, but I'm going to show you how I chopped them up. In some places, I know I've seen them at Trader Joe's and some of your Whole Food stores, you can purchase Brussels sprouts that are already chopped up like this, but I went ahead and chopped these, and I'm going to show you how I did it. They usually will come pre-prepared in a bag like this. I bought mine at Costco, but I know Jolly Green Giant and a lot of store brands will also sell them like this. If you prefer to buy Brussels sprouts in their natural form, Brussels sprouts come on a great big long stalk about this big, and a lot of stores do carry them still on the stalk, and I have purchased them that way and processed them myself as well. And if you want to do that for fun, you absolutely can. Sometimes it's fun for kids because it's like Jolly Green Giant and the big stalk. But anyway, that is how they are grown, but it is convenient if they come in a bag already pre-washed and everything for you. Now, when you do take them out of the bag, this is what they will look like when you take them out of the bag if you buy them in a bag. They're like little tiny baby cabbages. And most of the time, they say they have trimmed them, but I still find that this woody stalk at the bottom is still quite firm. So I do like to process that myself and cut it off. And they do vary in size. They are not even. So they will come in different sizes and different shapes. And so I usually like to take and cut off the bottom, that extra woody piece. And then sometimes you will get little pieces that fall off. And then I have just been chopping mine And I do indeed have a very sharp knife, thanks to my brother-in-law, Brian, who keeps me with very sharp cutlery. I appreciate it. But that is what it will look like when you are done cutting it. So I'm going to finish cutting these to make our complete 1 pound of Brussels sprouts. Now, if you were taking this dish to a gathering or to some kind of, family dinner or something like that, and you needed more than 4 servings, you could go ahead and double the recipe, and that would be fine. This is just for CJ and myself. We are going to a 4th of July gathering tomorrow, and I will be bringing this dish, and I will more than likely double it because we are going to be serving 10 adults, and so I'm going to need more than just the 4 servings. And this is a generous 4 servings. If you were just using this as a side dish like we will be using tonight and also tomorrow night, then doubling it to make 8 servings should still be enough to feed 8 to 10 people. So this is my last. And just be careful as you get to the edge. Just watch out for your fingers and your fingernails. Okay, so that is my 1 pound of chopped Brussels sprouts. Now, in order to make our dressing, we are going to need several things. We are going to need Worcestershire sauce, and we're only going to use a few dashes of this. And this is going to assist us in giving that slight anchovy flavor without using anchovies. If you wanted to use actual anchovies in your Caesar salad, you absolutely could. That is a personal preference. But basically, anchovies give the dish that smoky, pungent flavor, and of course add saltiness. So if you wanted to use anchovies, absolutely go for that, but I'm just going to use a few dashes of Worcestershire in its place. I'm also going to be using a small amount of Dijon mustard, just a squirt or two, to give it that real white wine brininess, that touch of vinegar that will give it a nice pungent flavor. I'm also going to be using extra virgin olive oil as the emulsifier in our homemade Caesar dressing. I'm going to be using a lemon, and I'm going to be zesting it first. And I'm also going to be juicing it after. This is a reamer, and after I cut my lemon, I will be juicing it on this to get as much juice as I can out of my lemon. So the other thing that I'm going to be using is I'm going to be using Johnny's garlic spread seasoning, and this is actually made here in the Pacific Northwest. You do not have to have this. What this is basically Parmesan cheese and some garlic and spices. And traditionally this is melted into butter and put on garlic bread, but since with this lifestyle we do not eat bread, I do find that this is a very nice, flavorful garlic seasoning. If you cannot find something like this, any kind of garlic and herb seasoning would work very well in its place. We just want to add a little bit of flavor to our salad so that we don't just have lemon and olive oil. We do want to have that kind of Caesar-y salad component without actually using a prepared Caesar dressing. And the other thing that we will be using is Parmesan cheese. And I really prefer a shaved Parmesan cheese in this particular salad. And the reason that I like it is because it is nice big flakes of Parmesan cheese. If you would like to get a wedge of Parmesan and grate it yourself, you absolutely could. But I find that it's really nice if it's already done for me. I find this in the deli section, usually by, the deli meats and things like that, where they have the specialty cheeses. Most grocery stores now have the shaved Parmesan. If you cannot find shaved, you absolutely could use the grated kind. I just find that this makes it look really pretty, and it gives much more bite of Parmesans. You actually taste the Parmesan. Sometimes when it's in little tiny grates, it loses that pungency that we're looking for in this recipe. So those are the things that we're going to be using. So the first thing that I want to do is I want 1/3 of a cup of extra virgin olive oil, and you want to try and get as good of an olive oil as you can afford, simply because this is a finished product. We are not using this for cooking purposes. We're using this as our dressing. So it's really nice if you can get something that has a nice fruity flavor that is as pure an olive oil as that you can get, because you are going to be tasting this product. So I want 1/3 cup. And I'm just going to put that into my bowl. And this is going to act as our emulsifier when we add our acids. When you combine an acid and an oil and you mix it together, it creates an emulsion which makes the dressing so that it coats whatever you are going to put on it. So let's set that aside. So the next thing that we are going to be doing is preparing our lemon. And I have a nice large lemon here. If you cannot find a large lemon, you could use a couple of small lemons. But we just want the zest and the juice of an entire lemon. If you do not feel like dealing with lemon, you could use lemon juice in this step, but you will miss the freshness of the lemon rind, the zest that we are going to use. And most of the oils within a lemon are found in the zest, and that's why we are using a fresh product in this step. It makes things really nice in the summer if you can have that added freshness. So I have a microplane here. In my previous lemon lush recipe, I realized that I was actually using a grater and not a microplane. So as you can tell with this, the teeth are much finer. I've already zested one lemon, so it's a little bit already oily. But the teeth are very, very, very fine on this, and there's quite a few of them, as opposed to a grater, which has much larger teeth and they're farther apart. So you just want to take your lemon and just go down your zester, and you can see that it's leaving a bald patch, which is what we want, and we want to stop there because, as you can see, the white part, the pithy part, can be quite bitter, and we don't want to use that. So we just want to keep rotating our lemon and get all the bright, shiny parts of the yellow parts of the lemon off. And just keep rotating your lemon. And you definitely want to zest your lemon first, because cutting it and getting the juice out, it's nearly impossible to zest it after that. So definitely try and zest your lemon first. And I wish you had smell-o-vision, because this lemon smells quite delightful. And that's why we are using the zest in this step, is because it smells so good, and that is where the oils in your citrus are housed, so it really has all the flavor in there. So you can see that we produced quite a bit of lemon zest, and that's perfect. That's what we want. So I'm going to go ahead and scoop that up and add it to our olive oil in our bowl. Now I'm going to slice this lemon just in half. And then I'm going to use my reamer. And if you're not familiar, a reamer is a fairly old-fashioned device. I actually have a crystal one that belonged to my great-grandmother, but I don't get it down too often. The plastic one works just as well. Sometimes they're made out of wood. Sometimes they are automated, so they're electric, like a juicer, and you will stick your lemon on there, and this part will twirl around by itself and will get your juice out. But I don't use citrus enough to use up that valuable space in my tiny kitchen, so I'm just using this one. And we're just going to go ahead and do it right over this, because once I do it, it's going to just drain right out of here. And this little part here helps prevent the seeds from falling into your dish. If you do not have a reamer, you can just squeeze your citrus fruit. Just be aware of the seeds so that the seeds do not get into your marinade. So just push and kind of squeeze. And you can see that we've gotten all of our lemon out. And here are our seeds. So it did what we wanted it to do. And we're going to do it for the other side. all of our lemon juice. And it got all of our seeds, which is what we wanted. And if you have any paper cuts, oh boy, that feels fantastic. Clean paper cuts. Okay, now we are going to add a little bit of Dijon mustard. And we're just going to add a squirt, nothing precise. Use as much as you would like, but I'm just going to add a couple of squirts, just 2. And then with our Worcestershire sauce, I'm just going to do a couple of dashes. That's just going to give us our slightly salty, briny flavor. So you can see right now that everything is very separated because we have not emulsified it yet, and that is what I'm going to do with my whisk here. I'm going to add our oil and our acids, and that is going to create our dressing. Okay, and as you can see, it has now created a dressing. They have combined together to form a solid dressing or marinade. So I'm just going to pour that over my prepared Brussels sprouts. Now I'm going to add a few shakes of my garlic spread, and once again you could just use some garlic and herb seasoning or some parsley. Any herbs that you prefer would work great in this step. I'm also going to add a little bit of salt and some pepper. You could use cracked pepper if you'd like, but I'm just using regular pepper. Now I'm going to take my tossers, my salad tossers, and just start tossing this. Make sure that all of our Brussels sprouts have received our Caesar salad dressing, our homemade Caesar dressing. And of course you could serve this right away, but if you wanted to refrigerate it and serve it later, you could. And also because we have not put the raw egg component that is traditional in a Caesar salad, you could also take this to a picnic and it would be fine left out in the sun because it doesn't have anything that would grow bacteria. So for our final step, I'm going to be adding the shaved Parmesan cheese, and you can add as much cheese as you would like. You could also reserve this and let people add it as they like if they didn't want the Parmesan cheese. So it's completely up to you, but I'm just going to sprinkle some in, and then I'm going to toss it again. So there we have our delicious Brussels sprout Caesar salad. Ready for a summer day, barbecue, or just enjoy any time of year. Hi CJ.
Hi.
Welcome to our summer salad series.
Yep.
So tonight we have
And with a fork.
Brussels sprout Caesar salad.
Alright, let's try it. It's really good. It's flavorful. It's tangy. I bet you this is one of those things that gets better as it sits. I mean, we literally just got done
I
with.
just tossed it. Like
We just tossed it. I was surprised that the salad dressing made it all the way through.
It emulsifies quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. And so it's really good. It's chewy. That's a pretty big serving.
Yeah, the recipe is like 4 servings, and that's like 8 ounces.
That's 8 ounces.
Yeah,
that's pretty big. I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty generous.
I don't know
you could
if
probably cut it down.
I think if I was eating this with like a burger or something else,
which is what we're going to be doing. That's what's behind you.
I'm thinking that I probably wouldn't need that much of it.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty hearty and filling.
Yeah.
But it's good. I think people will like it.
You could also add a little bit of natural or artificial sweetener if you wanted a little bit of sweetness to your salad.
Yeah, that's true.
It's pretty tangy if you want some sweetness.
That lemon is really tangy, and that's on. But I'm really thinking that as it sits, it probably will. Those flavors will kind of meld together a little bit better.
Yes.
But you're right. That's probably a good idea to add if you want to sweeten it a little bit, just a touch. Probably be good too.
And we can put that in the recipe as an optional step.
Yeah, but I like it. I like Brussels sprouts, and I think people will like this.
Good.
Good job, baby. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us again tonight, you guys. We hope that you will stay tuned for the other 3 weeks of our summer salad series. Just so you don't miss out, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so that you know when we upload our other 3 recipes for this summer salad series. We would like you to please consider subscribing so that you catch our other recipes, and we also have keto conversations on Wednesdays. Our recipes are uploaded on Sundays, and we also have all kinds of other recipes that are available on our blog, and that is cjsketokitchen.com. All of our nutritional values are also there. We are also on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, and we post a lot of our recipes and other ideas on those platforms, so consider subscribing there as well. We hope that you will come back and see us again. If you would like other summer ideas, we have other summer salads that we've done in previous years, and those will be coming up after the end of the video so that you can check those out as well. It is barbecue season, and it must be warm somewhere. It is not warm here, but I'm hoping. July's looking good. Anyway, come back and see us again, and we'll see you next time on CJ's Keto Kitchen.